you have been pulling your hair out to get your child into a nursery in the UK, you are not alone. I'm with you. But you know what? I'm about to expose 7 challenges no one warns you about when you're trying to apply for a nursery here. Now, stick around with me and it might just help you get yours in the nursery very soon. Hey parents, welcome back to my channel, Motivated and Inspired. My name is Mifi. Here I share immigration content on motherhood, residency, visa, and more. But in this video, we're talking about getting our children in the nursery, which is not anything easy in the UK at all. The waiting list is just unrealistic, because it's extremely long. Even though you apply maybe a year before or 2 years before, you might still not get a chance for your child to be in that school. And this is the insider information I got from both immigrant and natives. So as soon as you're pregnant, okay, that is before you have your baby, you must already start researching which nursery you will want your little one to attend and be on the waiting list, especially if you live in places like London, Manchester, Birmingham, and Liverpool, all those busy areas. Then you have to do exactly this. And even that, do not apply to just one school, apply to 2 or 3, so you expand your chances of getting your child in school early. Now, to tell you, I don't live in all these areas I mentioned. I live in Oakhampton, which is a town, a beautiful place by the way. However, I didn't get chance for my child to be in the nursery, and I applied like a year before the time I wanted him to go to school, and yet still I did not. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you how I finally got him a nursery. The cost is shocking. From most nurseries or childcare, you are going to be paying between 1,000 to 2,000 per a month. No, not a term, per a month. Like, hello, no jokes. You are going to be paying that amount of money. And let's not talk about the extra courses. That is, if you are late to pick your child, there is an extra course, diaper fee, formula fee, meal fee, and all of the extra costs that you never even thought about that it existed. Childcare is extremely expensive here in the UK. Finding the nursery beforehand and knowing how much the fees cost and the hidden extra fees cost is going to help come to a conclusion whether one of you should give up their job so you can do the childcare yourself, or it's worth it working and then paying 1,200 to 2,000 minus extra cost a month per a child. The government funding means all of that sounds very amazing until you get the catches. I was like, 30 hours, free childcare, that is so good. Maybe I should have twins or I should have the next kid already. But wait, that's not it. There are eligibility. And one of the eligibility is you must be at least earning 183 per a week. And to qualify, even if you're earning more than certain amount, that is, if you're earning more than 100,000 per annum, you don't get that 30 hours. Don't be all excited that, oh, I have 30 hours free childcare from the government. No. There are certain conditions. Anything can happen. Like the way you plan your childbirth and the way you plan this journey, things are not going to go that way. I'm sorry, it's going to be challenging. If you want at any point your child to be in childcare just so you can care for yourself, that is not going to happen, because you must be earning at least 183 per a week. One thing to bear in mind, those hours, whether 15 hours or 30 hours, they are only for term time. So it means that when your child is on vacation, well, you're not on vacation at work, because if every time your child is on vacation, you and I are on vacation and not working so that we can care for our child, nobody will end up working. So guess what? Your child will still be in school and you cannot use those hours. So if you're going to pay 1,200 per a month, okay, and let's say you're just utilizing the 30 hours, vacation time is going to come from your pocket. There is also eligibility of age, okay. So recently they have extended age to 2 years, and if you're a single parent, it's a little bit different at the time your child has to go to school than if you are a couple. Like in my case, my child is only eligible for 15 hours of free funding from the government, and he can only attain that at 3 years old. If I want the 30 hours for him, it means that I have to be working and be earning minimum of 183. Location and quality dilemma. For me, one of the greatest gifts with the memory of my childhood I have is walking to school. Like, I was causing a lot of trouble, climbing mango trees and plucking mangoes, knocking at people's door. It was all fun because my mom was extremely strict. Although I do not want my child to do that, I still want to give my child that opportunity to walk to school. So I was looking for schools close by where I can walk like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes maximum to school with my child. Because for me, it's bonding, it's building relationship. Because when you're driving your child, you are concentrating on driving, and maybe you're working on time, you just want to get there and drop the child. You are like a taxi driver. You know, you don't get to have a relaxed conversation with your child, rather than if you have to walk them to school and from school. But guess what? It didn't happen for me. So for me, there is no perfect school. Maybe sometimes, like my friend would say, you have to lower your standard. You're looking for you, a perfect school will be a school you walk to, it's upstairs, the school fees are good, they allow your child to bring their food to school, blah, blah, blah. Rewrite the list. What will be your topmost priorities? Can you let go of certain priorities so that you can at least have a chance in certain schools rather than your perfect nursery school? Because if not, then your child is going to stay home longer than they should. For me, I took 3 years off. After that, I still had a lot of struggles. So imagine if you are maybe taking just 6 months off, or you're taking the whole 52 weeks off, and you want your child to be in school immediately so you can go back to work, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So cancel out the perfect nursery or the perfect childcare center in your list. Look at the priorities. What can you forgo so that you have more chances in other nurseries? Also, you will want to consider mapping up your daily routine, as in, should you rather find a nursery closer to your workplace rather than closer to your home, because you don't work at home? If you work from home, then it's a different ballgame together. But if you work elsewhere, then you will want to find nurseries that are closer to your workplace so that in case of anything, you can. It also means that picking your child up will be much easier than if you have to drive all the way from work and rush hour, get to another destination, pick your child, and then drive back home. The part-time and the full-time trap. You know, the schools, they are eager and happy to take children that are being dumped there. Like, if you're going to dump your child in the school and never see your child, they'll be extremely happy, so that you pay for all those hours. If you want your child to go in certain days, like a nursery that is full-time nursery, they are open from Monday to Fridays. In fact, some of them are even open on weekends. If your child is just doing certain hours, which will be part-time, your child is going to be on the bottom of the list because they are paying attention to people who are doing full-time and even extra time. Like the nursery time will be like 5, and you cannot pick your child up, okay? So your child has to stay there 2 more hours, and you pick them up at 7. That is the kind of child they want. So if you want your child to do maybe 4 hours or 5 hours, you're not going to be on that list. That is why I gave you instances that you should open your circle and have a lot of nurseries on your list, so that at the end of the day, your child will be in nursery. Another thing to take into consideration is that the government funding hours can actually serve you if you're using nanny, you're using childminder, or other kind of childcare out of the school system. So maybe you might not have a chance in the nursery, but there might be a childminder in your neighborhood that might have availability. Or you can also get an Ofsted registered nanny that can come home and take care of your child, and you can pay them with the government fund, because as much as the person is registered on Ofsted, you can use that fund. So that is something to also consider. Now, my final point that no one wants you about, the endless application process. Some of the schools that require you to come in person and fill the forms. In today's day and age, it's 2025 and we are in England. But yes, some of the schools that expect you to come in person and fill the form, while some of them you will have to do it online, but pages upon pages upon pages. With some of them you have to download them and fill them, which some of you will not have access to. I mean, how many parents are tech savvy and will have the opportunity or the knowledge to download the form online in PDF form, fill it, sign it, like add signature, and then reload it back to the school? Oh my days. And the pages, some of them are like 12, 15. For me, if you ask me, okay, going to the hospital and pushing a baby out of my body is so easier. I would prefer that than filling the nursery form, if you ask me. But well, this is what it is. You have to fill forms, you have to go to the school sometimes, and some of the processes are very, very long. And it's like when you finish, you're like, wow, it feels like you killed an elephant. That's what it feels after I filled the form. And then I had to fill it for several schools. So imagine. So let me tell you how I finally got a nursery for my child. So as I said earlier on, I took time from work 3 years to care for him. So he will go back 3 years, because he must be in school at 5. That is a compulsory age in the UK. I applied to a school that was willing to take him at 3. However, I went to the school and then they had their restrictions. He would not be allowed to bring his own food because of allergy. Okay, I'm like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And I do understand their point of view to some extent, because some parents will be stubborn, or they might be ignorant, not knowing what ingredient is in a particular food if they didn't make the food and they bought it. However, I wanted my child to take food from home, so that was out of the list. Secondly, most of my friends had their children in that school and they were complaining because the extra charges were ridiculous. Some of them took their children out because they said the children didn't get the care that they needed, and this school is Ofsted rated. So this was another reason why I decided, okay, so my child is not going there. So I went on another list of a school that I like. It was close by as the other one. I'm going to walk to the school, so I'm all excited. After filling all the forms and everything, they told me he didn't have a place. Okay, cool. I was like, no big deal. He has a lot of time to wait till 3. And then the next time, again, I was informed he didn't have space in the school. And then the third one, I'm like, what the hell? Out of frustration, this is why I tell you and advise you parent, like, you should be in groups on Facebook. I use my online resource. I went to Facebook and groups that I belong to, and I said, I'm frustrated because my child has been denied several times to a particular nursery, so I need recommendations. They recommended other schools that are nearby. I called those schools. They were nice, they all had sports, and I visited one of them and I fell in love instantly, even by watching their photos online. And it's very flexible. So the only thing we are giving up is the fact that we have to drive our child to the school instead of walking. But guess what? The environment is so serene, it's beautiful. So I'm super happy. I opened my niche, okay, and I went beyond my priority. Let me know in the comment section what your experience has been. I'll always say, be you, be bold, do whatever you're going to do, say whatever you're going to say, as long as you're not hurting anyone. But most of all, stay motivated and inspired. I will see you in the next video, and it is adios. This my duku.
Stay motivated and inspired.